Mandy and Andy in preschool. One day, Benjamin Badger came to meet Mandy, Andy, and Mortimer Mouse with his mother. I'm going to preschool, he shouted from afar. Yes, today is an introduction day at Aunt Nellie's preschool, and we decided to go and see what it's like there, explained Mrs. Badger. Come with me, Benjamin urged. You don't have to be there if you don't want to. But Andy didn't like the idea at all. I'm not going to start wearing out my school desk as at this age, he announced sheepishly. There will still be enough time to work hard there later. At home, Mandy, Andy, and Mortimer Mouse started playing a quiz. Who is the person who is neither my sister nor my brother, but is still my father's child? Mortimer asked Andy first. He was completely confused. I just don't know, he stammered. Do I know him? You know him very well, laughed Mortimer. It's me. Andy began to feel annoyed by his ignorance. Should I go to preschool after all to get a little wiser? He mused. If Andy gets something into his head, he immediately puts it into action. So right away, the children, along with Uncle Tobias, rushed towards Aunt Nellie's daycare center, where the preschool was located. Aunt Nellie was in the yard with the children when they arrived. In addition to Benjamin Badger, there were Beauty Bear, Pernice Pig, and Bobby Bunny. Here comes more people eager to learn, snapped Uncle Tobias. Is there still time to join? Yes, of course, said Aunt Nellie. We're just going inside. Welcome. Aunt Nellie initially told that her preschool is for an hour twice a week. And this is completely voluntary, she emphasized. No one is being forced here. First, Aunt Nellie taught the children some alphabet. She showed them the letters on cardboard pieces, and the children tried to copy them onto paper. But Andy was already dreaming of his future success at a real school. Next, they learned syllables. What syllable is this? Asked Aunt Nellie. At that very moment, Andy bent down to pick up the pencil he had dropped on the floor. As he stood up, he hit his head on the table's corner and shouted, Aye! That's right, exclaimed Aunt Nellie happily. This is indeed the I syllable. Good, Andy. Only then did the teacher realize what had happened and comforted Andy. Here Aunt Nellie shows a colorful board with pictures of different objects. You have to connect the objects that start with the same sound with a line. Can you do that? The children also learned about different shapes: triangle, square, and circle. Aunt Nellie gave everyone crayons to color the triangles yellow, the squares green, and the circles red. This is fun, said Mortimer Mouse excitedly. You just have to be careful not to color over the line. That's right, confirmed Andy. Diligence is what school is all about. Why is Mandy smiling? Then it was time for a tricky math problem. Aunt Nellie put 10 candies on the table and asked Andy, If Mandy has 10 candies and she gives 3 them to you, how many will she have left for herself? Andy didn't have to think long. None, he answered without hesitation. None? Aunt Nellie wondered. How is that possible? Well, she puts them all in her cheeks right away, explained Andy, smiling knowingly. Andy got so excited about the math problems that he wanted to show how to divide, for example, 6 apples equally between Mandy and him. Andy began to distribute. For you, for me, and for myself. For you, for me, and for myself. The end result was that Andy had 4 apples, but Mandy only had 2. That Andy has an excellent head for calculations, laughed Aunt Nellie. Absolutely. He's sure to have a great future in the business world, confirmed Mandy. In the midst of everything, they found out that it was little Beauty's birthday that day. So, under the guidance of the teacher, the children performed a congratulatory song for her in proper English. Beauty blushed in embarrassment. Later, the children were allowed to draw a picture of their neighbor's face, but Andy decided to draw a really nice picture of Aunt Nellie. However, Andy's drawing didn't turn out as well as he had hoped. Eventually, he began to feel terrible about his accomplishments and was afraid that Aunt Nellie would be angry when she saw it. However, Andy's fear turned out to be unfounded, as Aunt Nellie burst into joyful laughter upon seeing her picture. This portrait certainly has that original vision that art critics always emphasize, she chuckled. Finally, Aunt Nellie asked an easy question. Or was it really that easy? What do you think weighs more, a kilo of iron nails or a kilo of feathers? Iron nails, of course, came from many mouths at the same time. However, it was wrong answer. They weigh exactly the same, even though it may sound strange, Aunt Nellie assured. A kilo is a kilo, wherever it's feathers or nails. As they were leaving for home, Andy quietly went to ask Aunt Nellie about something that has been bothering him. Mortimer Mouse claimed that a person who is neither his sister nor his brother, but is still his father's child, would be Mortimer himself. Could that be true? Yes, that is true, Aunt Nellie assured with a smile. Okay then, Andy sighed with a relief. I didn't think Mortimer would try to pull me by the nose, but I wanted to make sure. Uncle Tobias was already meeting Andy, Mandy, and Mortimer Mouse. On the way home, he asked what preschool was like. The children told him in unison what they had done there. That was a lot of learning in one go, wondered Uncle Tobias. It was actually because this was kind of introductory day, explained Mandy. Aunt Nellie said that a regular preschool class doesn't have that many things. It was fun there, Andy testified. And to top it all off, Aunt Nellie praised me for having an excellent calculate head, he added excitedly. Oh, well, in that case, I guess it's best to send our Andy straight to a university, laughed Uncle Tobias as they walked home.